A Lawrenceburg mother says her son should have walked out of the Franklin County Regional Jail alive after his January arrest on drugs and other charges. Instead, he left in a coroner's van.
Now, Dylan Stratton's mother is suing the jail and others for wrongful death, among other things. LEX 18's Lee Searcy viewed hours and hours of jail video leading up to Stratton's death and has this LEX 18 special report. Now, we do want to tell you that some parts of the story may be upsetting to watch.
Let's make sure I got technique. Is that it? That's it?
In 2015, Dylan Stratton's fellow seniors at Anderson County High School voted him class clown. That's the tender-hearted son Leslie Glass remembers.
He had a great sense of humor. He laughed all the time.
After graduation, Stratton tried college, but ended up working different jobs. His mother says he was still trying to find his way, still struggling with the recent death of his stepfather.
They were pretty close, you know.
That was hard on him.
Yeah.
Then, January 17th of this year, police arrested Stratton on wanton endangerment and drug charges after a fight with a friend. He admitted using marijuana and ecstasy on top of his high blood pressure medicine. This would be his first and last trip to the Franklin County Regional Jail. Less than a week later, Glass says Dylan died naked and alone in a detox cell.
Why? That's the question that I keep asking. Why? Why wouldn't anyone help him?
Glass is suing the jail and its private health services provider for negligence and wrongful death, claiming Dylan would not have died but for defendants' gross, unconscionable, and deliberate indifference to the tortures of his untreated benzodiazepine withdrawal.
I know they could have taken him to the hospital. He would have been okay.
The day of his arrest, Stratton could walk and talk, as seen here at his video arraignment.
Mr. Stratton, are you going to hire an attorney to represent you?
I'm gonna get one because this is ridiculous.
Yeah, it really is.
The next day of Friday, he was on video being moved to a private cell after Glass said he had a seizure for the very first time.
I just told him, well, they're not going to let anything happen to you. Just, calm down.
Here's a time-lapse look at Stratton through Monday. He's observed rolling on the floor, flailing his arms, and according to the lawsuit, was making delusional statements such as, "Please start the car." The suit states deputies contacted a mental health center that determined Stratton was actively psychotic and to use the safety chair. A nurse did give him Gatorade. By Tuesday morning, Stratton is seen in another court video sitting in a chair, barely responding to the judge.
Mr. Stratton, did you hire an attorney or did you ask me to appoint public defender's office for you?
I'm not really truthfully sure.
Watch as even the judge appears alarmed by Stratton's deteriorating condition and the condition of another inmate.
Is this a detoxing situation? What is going on?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have they been medically treated?
Yes, Your Honor.
Less than 24 hours later, Dylan Stratton was found dead in his cell. The coroner ruled as cause of death cardiac dysrhythmia and noted obesity and drug use.
All they had to do was take him to the hospital, get him some medical attention.
The family's attorney, Greg Belsley, believes the jail's own video tells the story.
I challenge anybody to watch that video and not be appalled.
He says the day before Stratton died, a nurse practitioner was at the jail, but never saw Stratton because he was not put on her patient list.
At some point, you've got to say, where does human decency come into all of this?
For the past month, we have tried repeatedly over the phone and in person to talk to Franklin County jailer Rick Rogers about Dylan Stratton. He has never once returned our calls and has since retired. This complaint raises serious questions about Dylan's jail medical records. Here's a copy of Dylan's observation chart given to the coroner the day he died. Of his nearly 6 days in jail, a nurse documented only 2 days' worth of his medical entries and circled no for signs of weakness, confusion, and slurred speech. His mother's suit alleges Southern Health Partners, the company contracted by the jail to treat inmates, later submitted fabricated records that showed 2 pages of entries. Remember his last court appearance just hours before he died? That same day, Southern Health Partners' own monitoring form for Stratton documented no across the board for weakness, confusion, and slurred speech.
They should be ashamed of themselves. I mean, what kind of medical establishment are you?
Here in black and white, the company's own withdrawal form requires staff to report all findings to the medical director if a patient is not progressing well. In bold print, it says if there are changes or deterioration, to notify physician immediately. Stratton's mother wants to know why the company didn't follow its own policies.
I just would not think that they would not do what they're supposed to do as a human being. How do you not care for someone?
We called Southern Health Partners for answers. An attorney referred us to the company's response to the lawsuit, which claims its staff acted in good faith and that if Stratton suffered any harm, it was as a result of his own actions, not those of Southern Health Partners.
Why? That's the question that I keep asking. Why? Why wouldn't anyone help him? And I can't get past that. He made some mistakes and he'd done some things he shouldn't have, but he was just 21. He was just a kid. He didn't deserve to suffer at all.
Lee Searcy reporting. Stratton's family says the morning he died, jail staff took his friend, who was arrested with him and also detoxing, straight to the hospital. He lived. Frankfort police investigated the death and consider the case clear of criminal wrongdoing.